Hi, I'm Georgia.
And I'm David. We spent the past 2.5 years slow traveling through Mexico.
During that time, we visited all 32 states and 100 Pueblo Mágicos. And in this video, we're going to tell you our top 10 Pueblo Mágicos, as well as, if you stay tuned to the end, we'll tell you about our favorite Pueblos that somehow didn't make it to the Pueblo Mágico list, but we thought were pretty Mágico.
So you may be wondering what a Pueblo Mágico is. Well, it's a town that the Tourism Board of Mexico has decided is a magic town. And as of right now, there's 177 of them.
Yeah, when we started, there was only 132, so the goal was to visit 100 of those, and we did that. The Pueblo Mágicos can be named magic towns because of either their natural beauty, their historic significance, their architecture, archaeological zones nearby, food, unique crafts, kind of anything that makes it fun to visit.
And the number 10 spot is Chiapa de Corzo in the state of Chiapas. And the reason this Pueblo Mágico is a Pueblo Mágico is because of the Sumidero Canyon.
Yeah, the canyon is super impressive, and you can both drive along the edge and stop at a bunch of very impressive viewpoints, or you can take a boat ride through the canyon where they stop at different points. I remember one of them was this like waterfall that looked like a Christmas tree. We did both the drive and the boat ride, and it was just such an awesome day. Then we actually went into the Pueblo itself, and they have one of the most unique kioscos. It is in a Moorish style, and it is brick. It's very unique, and we definitely had a fun day. In at number 9 is the Pueblo Mágico of Loreto in the state of Baja California Sur.
One of the things that Loreto is known for is their beautiful beaches. One of them, Playa Requesón, is one of the most beautiful beaches we've been to, and it has a cool little sand spit you can walk in low tide.
Yeah, it was so gorgeous. The other thing that we did while we were there was we took a private boat tour out to Coronado Island. We got to see sea lions.
That's awesome.
The beach there was also pretty, but the main thing I remember is all those sea lions.
And at number 8 is the Pueblo Mágico of Mitla in the state of Oaxaca.
That Pueblo Mágico had a lot going on. First of all, right outside of town is a very impressive archaeological zone where they have a ton of like carvings. They look almost Greek in nature. It was very unique and very beautiful. Another thing that's very close by is Hierve el Agua, which is one of only 2, I believe, petrified waterfalls in the world. The other one's in Turkey. And we went on a gorgeous hike there. It was just so impressive. It looked almost like a candle, just like melting and dripping wax. It was a really great day.
My favorite part was visiting the town of Santiago Matatlan, which is known as the world capital of Mezcal, and is only a 15-minute drive from Mitla. It is definitely worth a visit. We spent a couple of days sampling Mezcal and taking tours through many distilleries. A lot of them do things a traditional way, using horses or donkeys to pull a large circular stone to crush the roasted maguey.
Number 7 is Huasca de Ocampo in the state of Hidalgo. This Pueblo Mágico was actually Mexico's very first Pueblo Mágico.
And the reason for that is they have basaltic prisms, and there's this park you can go to where they have bridges that you can go over and get different viewpoints of the cascading waterfalls. We've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, it was super, super impressive. Also, in addition to that, they have this big eco park that has this gorgeous turquoise blue water. And in parts of this water, they actually raise and farm trout. So they have restaurants you can go to and order the trout cooked many different ways. It was super delicious and very fresh. They also have a duende museum. Duendes are basically like little fairies or wood elves, and you could like leave a contribution or donation to the elves and they would bless you. It was just kind of a neat thing. And lastly, they have a huge hacienda that's actually very close to the basaltic prisms, where you can actually stay as a hotel, or you can just eat lunch there, or like I did, you can just walk around and tour the place. It's beautiful.
In at number 6 is a twofer. We have Zacatlán de las Manzanas and Chignahuapan, both in the state of Puebla. And the reason we have two of them is because they're only 24 minutes apart, and in between is a beautiful waterfall.
Yeah, Cascadas Tuliman was a very impressive waterfall. There's actually a couple different companies that provide parking and guides, and you can hike down to the waterfall. It was not the easiest hike, but it was totally worth it. It was probably one of the most forceful waterfalls that we went to in Mexico. We absolutely loved that. In addition, Chignahuapan is known for the little amphibian that is unique to Mexico, the axolotl. They had a museum for him. They also had tons of stores that had t-shirts with him on it and keychains and things like that. We really enjoyed it. Chignahuapan is also known for making Christmas ornaments. They have a factory that does them all hand blown. A lot of them are hand painted, and that was very cool.
And Zacatlan de las Manzanas is known for their mosaic murals. One section depicted the pre-Hispanic culture. Another was the life and crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And then my favorite one was where they were showing the different traditional clothing styles of all the states of Mexico. And that one was still being worked on when we were there.
Yeah, it was cool to see the traditional clothing from each of the states, many of which we had visited and seen there. The final section just showed history of Zacatlan itself. Then we made it to the square where they had this really impressive floral clock. And I mean, the town center itself was just really, really beautiful. But maybe the most impressive thing was that the entire town is just perched on the edge of this really deep and impressive gorge. In at number 5 is the Pueblo Mágico of Comitán in the state of Chiapas. We actually ended up spending the night in this Pueblo Mágico because there is so much to do here.
My favorite part was Cascada El Chiflón, which was this beautiful cascading waterfall. The water was this beautiful blue, milky color, and as you climbed up in different levels, each waterfall was even more beautiful than one before it. When you get to the very top, you see Velo de la Novia, and that one is the most powerful and beautiful waterfall we saw in all of Mexico.
Yeah, that was an awesome day. After that, we actually headed to an archaeological zone, Tenam Puente, and it was just one of those archaeological sites where you felt like you were discovering it. There were just all these different layers to the pyramids, so you kept climbing up these stairs, and then you just go around the corner and there'd be another level of pyramid for you to climb. That was really, really cool. And then that night, they actually had a marimba performance in the square, which the marimba is pretty similar to the xylophone. And that was just really cool to see. And finally, the next day, we headed out to Lagos de Colón, which just had the most amazing lakes in all these different colors of blue. I mean, one was kind of that milky turquoise, another was almost like jade green, and then there were some little waterfalls there as well. It was very, very impressive and a super fun day.
So number 4 is Creel in the state of Chihuahua. And just outside of town is Valle de los Monjes. And that has some of the most beautiful rock formations we've seen in all of Mexico. They're super tall, and you can hike all around there and get lost like we did. And everywhere you go, there's different views, and it's completely amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely a cool day. The other thing that Creel is known for is its proximity to Barrancas del Cobre, which is also known as the Grand Canyon of Mexico. Barrancas del Cobre are actually larger than the Grand Canyon, and it is super impressive. We spent a couple days exploring that area, and it is definitely worth it. It's not the easiest to get to, but if you can, you should. All right, and finally, we've made it down to the top 3. In at the number 3 spot is the Pueblo Mágico of Tequila. And if you have watched any of our videos, I bet you can guess why.
While we were there, we visited 10 different distilleries. Some of them did things in the artisanal way where they used no machinery at all. And in other ones, they were very mechanized. They had stainless steel tanks, and everything had a machine that did a different piece of the process. And we never got sick of seeing all the blue agave fields.
Yeah, another thing is in the town square, they have the voladores or the dancers. So if you never did make it out to Papantla to see where that originates, that is a place that you can see them do that right in front of the beautiful church.
And our second favorite Pueblo Mágico is Bacalar, located in the state of Quintana Roo. And they're known for their lake of 7 colors.
It was so incredibly beautiful. Now, I will say there is not a ton to do in Bacalar, but we were very happy just sitting by the lake and enjoying the view. There are lots of little beach clubs that you can go to that give you access to the lake. There was an area that was called Los Rapidos, where you actually can float in that gorgeous turquoise water. And we even did a boat tour while we were there to see different parts of the lake. But I don't know if it's just the lake of 7 colors. It might be 9 or 10. It was so stunning. And now our very favorite Pueblo Mágico of all, San Cristobal de las Casas in Chiapas.
The thing we loved about this Pueblo Mágico is how unique it was. The climate was completely different than most places in Mexico. It was a lot cooler and a lot wetter. We loved the architecture. And we also loved the cobblestone streets. A lot of them were actually walking streets, so you didn't have to worry about getting hit by cars.
Yeah, there are lots of cobblestone streets in Mexico, but not as many walking streets as I would like. Also, the artesanías there were very different. A lot of things were made from wool and were like blankets and pillows and ponchos. The food was even different. There were a lot more soups and stews and heartier things, obviously, because it was a bit colder. There's also tons of waterfalls around there. The culture is different there. The people there speak a type of Mayan. So it was just super unique. It was really beautiful. And also things were very affordable. So that one was definitely our favorite. Obviously, narrowing this list down to just 10 was nearly impossible. We talked about it a lot. And after having so many amazing experiences in Mexico, we did have to mention a few runner-up Pueblo Mágicos.
We really enjoyed our time in Bernal. Their monolith is very impressive. And then we loved the wineries in Tequisquiapan. Taxco was amazing because of their silver production and their beautiful white buildings.
Yeah, I absolutely loved buying silver earrings there.
We loved Orizaba because of all the activities that were available. I think they had more to do than any other Pueblo Mágico we visited. They had a teleferico, a glass walkway, an alpine roller coaster. They even had a medieval park, animatronic dinosaurs, and a planetarium. And then in Valladolid, we enjoyed the cenotes, the Mayan food, and then of course, Chichen Itza.
Yeah, can't forget that one. In addition, there were some towns that we absolutely loved, but they sadly aren't Pueblo Mágicos. We absolutely loved the art towns in Oaxaca. Tilcajete is known for those colorful alebrijes. And then San Bartolo Coyotepec is known for its gorgeous black pottery. We are gonna have to go back to both those places when we get a house to buy some decorative items. We also loved Celestún. Celestún, we were able to go on a boat tour and we were able to see flamingos. And that was just such a cool experience. They also had some very friendly raccoons and we ate some great seafood there as well. In Huasteca Potosino, we saw amazing waterfalls, and most of them you could swim in. Some of them even had like tube rides or these like jumping tours. We took a boat to the bottom of one of the waterfalls. It was one of my favorite experiences we had in Mexico. That one is gonna stay with me forever. That was amazing. We also loved all of the cenotes in Omun. We made a couple trips there from Mérida to cool off, and some of the cenotes there are open, some of them are closed. They were all super unique, and that was a very fun couple days. We also really enjoyed Valle de Guadalupe. As we mentioned before, we loved all of the wineries in Tequisquiapan, but I have to say that I think the wines that we tasted in Valle de Guadalupe were even better. There were tons of wineries, tons of restaurants, and very many different tasting experiences. The wine was made in different styles. It was a fantastic experience. We loved all of the bays of Huatulco. The town itself is a little more touristy than we tend to like, but I have to say that those beaches were some of our favorite in all of Mexico because they were bays. The water was very calm. Some of them had just very impressive coral, and you could snorkel in just a couple feet of water. It was very, very beautiful, and definitely, I think, our favorite beach experience in Mexico. Lastly, just experiencing Dia de Muertos in the state of Michoacan. We visited a few different little towns, and to see all the traditional ways that they celebrate this holiday was just magical. Morelia had, very vibrant and kind of commercialized parades and displays, but the little towns really did things the traditional way, and that was kind of one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences. So that kind of wraps it up. Those were our favorite Pueblo Mágicos, and also some of our favorite experiences that didn't quite fit into the Pueblo Mágico category. So we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you found it helpful, and I definitely hope you get to experience some of these for yourself.